What do you do when all the discipline you've built up over the years isn't enough to keep you going anymore? I've been using something else to help me keep showing up lately, even on the days when I'd rather stay at home, cuddle the dogs in bed, and just eat ice cream sandwiches. So if not discipline, then what? Obligation, pressure, getting outside of myself, and possible humiliation? It's been working pretty good so far, so I wanted to share it with you. You might know that a few years ago I stopped taking care of myself. Actually, it was more like I was speedrunning myself to rock bottom. But that's explained in another video, and my point is just that I fell off pretty hard, which I've done more than a few times, and every time I come back I always tell myself, this time will be different. But this time I really mean it. All those other times, I just didn't have the discipline to keep going, is what a younger, more naive version of me would say if he could have seen what would become of him. So back in June, I did a couple of things that are helping me circumvent the discipline issue and still get things done. First, I got the dogs signed up for training classes again. And second, I signed up for a strongman competition. Okay, well, what do dog classes and strongman have in common? They're both obligations, real stuff with timelines, and they happen whether I'm there or not. The world will keep turning if I don't show up to class or miss a workout. But if I say that I'm gonna do these things and then I don't, well, then I'm out of alignment with who I aspire to be. And that's harder to ignore than an early alarm clock on the days that I would rather just stay in bed. Those obligations put pressure on me. It's not comfortable, and it's not easy to deal with after so many years of just taking the easy path. But it gets me to show up, because what's more uncomfortable than pressure is pain. The pain of disappointment. That pain of sitting in bed at night, screaming at myself on the inside, knowing that I could have been better that day, and I chose not to. And I'm not saying that I expect myself to be perfect, but I can't expect nothing either. What about you? You're trying to make your comeback be for real, aren't you? So here's what I'd recommend. Step 1, find what you need to do. And I said need on purpose because need can be backed up by action, but a want can be blown off easily. Think about this need from a process-oriented perspective, not necessarily an outcome perspective. Journey before destination, right? For me, it's giving myself and my dogs some structure and creating a scaffolding that we can continue to build on. Step 2, make it bigger than just yourself. Not a quiet resolution that you can easily renegotiate at 5 in the morning when that alarm clock is going off. Something out there in the real world that involves other people. This is where that obligation and pressure become accountability. See what I did there? That was tight, huh? Maybe it's signing up for a community-based gym where people are gonna notice if you're not showing up. Or maybe it's a race or an event of some kind that scares you a little bit, but also feels attainable. Something that's gonna force you to stretch and grow to make it happen. These are more of a destination, something that you want to get to, even though ultimately it's just like part of the journey, man. And this time I said want on purpose, because the want reinforces the need. Don't sign up for a marathon if you hate running, you know? Whatever it is, it just has to be real. Something out there in the world that's happening whether you show up or not. And if you can't find an event because, there's not always something going on, at least you can tell somebody else what you plan on doing. And that's kind of the same idea. Accountability. Some accountability is better than no accountability, but I want to emphasize that this should be something that you want to do, because accountability can backfire if we don't have a strong desire to do the thing. It can feel like we're being pushed against our will, which can create more resistance to doing the thing. I also don't want to oversell these strategies as a magic bullet, because there are definitely days that I don't want to show up, even with all this in place. And if you've ever done this before, you know that as soon as you start to slip, it's like you've got one foot in a roller skate and another foot on a banana peel, and it's not going to take a lot to put you off course. So if you'll allow me to nerd out for a second, there is a tactic that I've used often on a day-to-day basis during those times of resistance in the moment. The part that the training montage, the Rocky training montage highlight reel doesn't show you. And it has to do with fantasy. So I saw a video recently on IG, and it's one of my favorite authors, Brandon Sanderson, talking about fantasy as an escape and how it can be more than just an escape. Because, and these are his words, paraphrasing, I'm probably gonna butcher it a little bit, but we get to, when we escape into fantasy, when we read a good book, when we escape into a good book, we get to lay our burdens down and spend some time in this other world with these other characters who are carrying burdens of their own. Some of them handling it better than others. Think of like Sam and Frodo from Lord of the Rings. And then when we come back to real life, hopefully we're a little bit inspired and a little bit more well-equipped to pick our burdens back up and carry them. I know that I have certainly felt that way. I mean, shit, my entire generation was inspired to train because of Dragon Ball Z. There's also a word that conveys this concept really well, jiito, or something like honor and obligation. It's this idea that once we pick up a burden, we don't get to just set it down when we don't feel like carrying it anymore. It's like this sacred commitment that's foundational to this entire warrior culture of people in the Wheel of Time series. And I know that there's more to it in the books, don't come for me in the comments. My point is, the characters that inspire me enough to actually shape my behavior outside of reading are the ones who keep their word even when it costs them something. And that's just another example of something outside of myself, not discipline, helping me do the work. So if you're on that on again, off again roller coaster of trying to rebuild yourself, I'd think about looking outside of yourself rather than trying to carry all your burdens alone. Anyway, strongman competition coming up on August 16th. My wife is gonna help me film it, and that video will be up around the end of the month if you wanna see how it goes. I think the subscribe button is around here somewhere. Then you're one of the people outside of just me who knows that it's happening, and you can come back and point and laugh if I fail miserably. Put what you're signing up for in the comments below, or just something that you're gonna do to get outside of yourself. That way the next person who scrolls down can see they're not alone in rebuilding themselves too. And if you're right at the beginning of your comeback and you're not quite sure where to start, I built a free calculator that can help give you a picture of how to get back to where you were. All you do is put in your old numbers, how long you were away, a few other variables, and it'll give you like a rough estimate of where your strength is probably at right now and roughly how long it'll take to get back to where you were and beyond. I'm a couple months into my comeback, and some of my numbers are not quite where they were, some of them are pretty close, and others are even beyond what I've ever done before, which I'm being totally normal about. Like I said, it's free, there's nothing to sign up for, it's just a visual aid to help folks visualize the path ahead. Now go find something real to sign up for, and I'll see you in the next one.